Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this edition of WPBS Weekly Inside the Stories. I'm Stefan Brunson. Some good news from the Toronto Zoo. An endangered orangutan is pregnant for the first time in 15 years. Handlers are calling it a success for the species at a time when orangutans are facing diminishing odds of long-term survival. Nikki Anastasakis has more.
Sumatran orangutans Booty and Sakali are going to be parents again. The pair are expecting to give birth next spring, and what's super important is these animals are under increasing pressure due to habitat loss and the palm oil crisis.
What's happening is we're cutting down a lot of this habitat to make room for agriculture. So if you guys haven't heard of palm oil, it comes from the oil palm tree. It's a type of vegetable oil, and it's actually in 50% of the products that we buy at our drugstores and supermarkets every day. It's even in our personal care items, in our dog food, lots of things like that. So what's happening is they're replacing all of this valuable land with these crops, and we are losing that land.
The Grade 3 zookeeper at the Indo-Malaysia Pavilion, Amanda Carroll, says Sakali is expecting to give birth in the spring of 2022. This is all part of the Toronto Zoo's plan to raise a captive population of orangutans here in Canada that are genetically viable as an insurance that these creatures won't die out as their numbers continue to decline in their native rainforests on the Southeast Asian islands of Borneo and Sumatra. This region is rich in wildlife, but under threat from loggers and farmers.
So they're really important to their habitat. So these guys do live in the rainforest. So rainforests are also important to humans. They keep our water clean. They stop erosion. They provide, livelihoods to a lot of people in that area. But with the orangutans, these guys are known as fruit eaters mostly. So they'll eat a lot of the fruits. And then when they defecate after eating that fruit, they're dispersing those seeds and they're helping all those plants to continuously survive in that rainforest.
It is estimated that 14,000 orangutans currently remain in Sumatra, and roughly 60,000 of the species across the Karimata Straits in Borneo, the Borneans being the most threatened subspecies. According to the World Wildlife Fund, Bornean orangutan populations have declined by more than 50% over the past 60 years, and the species' habitat has been reduced by at least 55% just in the last 2 decades alone, which is why Carol says as consumers, we have to be conscious of what we're purchasing.
So we're asking you guys to start supporting those companies that are using sustainable palm oil. So ways that you guys can do that, you can get on the Toronto Zoo's website at torontozoo.com and just search up sustainable palm oil and you'll get some lists of some foods that is supporting those companies.
Orangutans are far from the only primates under threat, of course. With nearly half, 42% of the Earth's 702 primate species listed as endangered or critically endangered by extinction. Alongside making more sustainable choices, conservationists and other experts point to several other programs that help limit our impact on the global environment, like the Toronto Zoo's own cell phone recycling program. The cell phone recycling program at the Toronto Zoo encourages you to bring in your cell phone devices or old electronics, which helps counteract the effect of destroying gorillas' habitats. I've collected a few. I'm off to go recycle them. Hi, I'm here to drop off 8 cell phones.
Perfect, thank you so much.
This is using Colton, which is a product inside the phone, and we're trying to reuse that product so that we don't have to keep mining in Africa. So if you guys ever have cell phones, please bring them in on your next visit, and we do get those all recycled, and that helps save the orangutans.
A grim reality confronts humans and the life we share the planet with in 2021, says Dr. Gabriella Mastromonaco, Director of Conservation Science, with the rate of animal extinctions accelerating.
One of the challenges with extinction is that it's actually moving faster and faster. So reproduction, conservation breeding is just one side of the, it's one part of the whole picture. And of course, trying to slow down climate change, if we can slow it down, I'm not sure that we can, but trying to mitigate some of those effects because, we can continue to breed our animals, but there's so many that are, quickly going towards extinction that we've got to have fingers in all the pies to make it work.
With keeping animals safe in mind, be sure to wear your mask when you're at the zoo. While vaccinations for animals aren't approved yet in Canada, they are at risk of contracting COVID-19. Therefore, staff at the zoo are working hard to get the animals trained for when the veterinary vaccinations arrive.
We have been working really hard to get these guys ready for the injections. So we do have our vet techs come at least once a week to visit our orangutans so that they're used to those vet techs, and we're doing trainings. So we'll just ask for them to put their shoulder up against the mesh, and then we'll just do, sometimes it's a fake poke, sometimes it's a blunt poke, so we kind of put some pressure, sometimes it's skin piercing.
A consensus among experts is clear. Urgent action is needed from all of us.
Everyone can do something, and it could be as simple as supporting a local program or taking a hike near your local wetland. It's really about everyone being part of this picture.
For Inside the Story, I'm Nikki Anastasakis.